similar. I think scrappage policy is more of a medium and a long-term policy. Immediately in the short term, if you would like the industry, to react to a beneficial scrappage policy, would require a slew number of incentives. Uh, some of the incentives that we've been hearing are only one-sided, which is in the GST form of GST rate reduction. But several other things like motivating the FTU or the retail customer, the small fleet operator, to give up his old vehicle and in turn take a new vehicle and get a lower road concession on road tax, get priority sector get better rate of interest from the nationalized banks, and be treated in the priority sector funding in public sector banks. That's going to help him. The acquisition and the utilization of that new vehicle is going to be a lot lower and will help him, continue the business which he was doing in using his old vehicle.
While I understand it may be very much possible in terms of two-wheeler passenger cars, considering more learned or more tech-savvy customer base, do you think so that with the customer profile that we have in commercial vehicles, the brick and mortar will face some challenges from the online platforms, especially in the current stressed operating cost structures that dealers have? Your thoughts on how do we recalibrate the economics for dealers, Mr. Siddharth?
I think for a dealer, the two major costs that he can work on, one is the manpower cost or is the interest cost. These are two major costs that are in his control that he can look to reduce or optimize. I don't want to use a negative word. I think optimize is the right word. Now, if we have to look at both these costs, the way ahead for us is to use the digital platform. A lot has been said about our customer not being able to adjust or get on board with the new ways. But I think COVID has been a great opportunity for all of us to kind of look at the local vegetable vendors and how they've used WhatsApp or the digital platforms to kind of grow their business. We've had several areas where small commercial vehicle customers have accepted orders and payments through Google Pay and picked up their load from various vendors using the digital platform. We've already seeing an influx of a lot of online aggregators who've come in and are putting loads available for large and small fleet operators to fulfill demand. So there has already been a shift by most of our customers to an online platform. It is going to be a difficult task to move the entire ecosystem into an out-and-out online platform. So even when you look at an Amazon or you look at any FMCG company, it has a brick and mortar and it has a large online platform. So both will have to coexist. Initially, you would feel it's difficult, but I think India is on the brink of moving away from the brick and mortar model, at least in the commercial vehicle space, because here there's a huge opportunity for us that we've still not been able to explore. We have few aggregators like Porters, Truckola, you have a lot of shuttle. They've all come on and they've tried to aggregate the demand side. There is a huge opportunity on the supply side. We've already seen that in the resale vehicle, where when you're looking at resale of trucks, there's already an online platform that's doing very well. So selling of new vehicles online is only the next innovation that will happen because of the times we are in. On the part
so Siddharth, if I may add, yeah. Sorry. So, if I may add, are you seeing the dealer's role in commercial vehicles more on service and support aspect than the sales going forward?
I think if you break it up to segment wise, like Anuj sir said, you can't look at the entire commercial vehicle industry with one glass. You have to see that most of the dealerships today in the MNHCV, heavy commercial vehicle space, have become more of an entire bouquet of service providers rather than just purely a truck seller or a commercial vehicle seller. They are already offering, some of the dealers are already offering leasing options or are selling leasing options. They are already guaranteeing uptime. They are talking about on-site support to dealers, to the customers. Some of them are also giving buyback guarantees. These are all backed by dealer entrepreneurs coming up and bagging these contracts. So in the large commercial vehicle space, we're already more than just purely a truck seller. Uh, Going forward, this will have to be expanded across all segments of the commercial vehicle industry, where we will have to, as a dealer, as a network, we will have to provide more to the consumer, to the truck buyer, than just being a ordinary, seller of the commercial vehicle.
One question for Mr. Bhandari, specific to the dealer side. What is the current update on the extension of registration of BS4 vehicles that was approved by the Supreme Court in March? Is it still valid? Because we've had multiple lockdowns after the initial lockdown. Your views on that?
So the Supreme Court order was very clear. It was based on the government's at that time strategy that the lockdown would open up on the 16th of April. And that's why they had given us the extension till 30th April. However, since the lockdown continued and the Supreme Court was not in session, so we've put in our application once again with the Supreme Court, requesting them to extend the date since the lockdown has continued. Since the bench is currently, one of the judges has retired and the bench is getting reconstituted. So the matter is with the Supreme Court. But the request is there for us to extend that deadline from 30th April to now, once the lockdown has got over on 31st May. I think on the driver front, I think Anuj sir and Sushil sir have rightly pointed out, in the commercial vehicle dealership community, drivers have always played a very important role in influencing the decisions of purchase, and we've always treated them as our true first customer when it came to treatment of the driver. If you look at the lounges or the facilities that were given to commercial vehicle drivers when they brought their vehicles, have always been at par with the best in the industry. Drivers have always so like we rightly said, during Corona, it taught us how to interact and come closer with our drivers, providing them space to stay and cook food or provide for their shelter. This community needs a lot of support, and I think we together, the entire ecosystem has to change their approach, the way we see a commercial vehicle driver, and simple things like educating them not only about their vehicles but how they spend their money, and preparing and making them financially stable. These are things that can really go a long way in improving their standard of living, and also in turn making this profession one where somebody would like to enter to improve his livelihood.
Okay, very well said, I think, Mr. Bhandari. Everybody understands all segments from the ecosystem have to come together to actually support and help the driver as a segment to actually grow. Do you see any future paradigm changes in the dealership business model. There were a lot of things discussed on digital sales. Do you think a joint approach between manufacturers and dealership and dealers that can adopt to the different normals here? Do you think that will be something dealerships should look at, given the current changes that are happening in the industry?
I think that's a very valid question, and this is already happening in the industry, and I foresee us investing more on digital platforms to get closer to our customers. Like Sushit ji said, that there's a lot of scope for us to interact with our fleet operator as well as with our first time customer and our small fleet operator on digitally. The manufacturer when we deal with large fleet operators, they are part of our negotiation criteria. So I think it is only a matter of time, and it is going to be a progressive way forward, where the manufacturer will be going forward with us when we deal with our customers.